I am not a professional. Don't take my advice. I'm not gonna act like because maybe people like my shit or any of that I'm even kind of qualified to show you anything. I'm not. Hell, I really shouldn't be making this video. But I did, on a whim, thinking it's an easy thing to do. The fan's gonna be going. Washing machine makes a feature, okay? He's a feature in this video. I'm gonna give him credit and everything. And dryer. They both make a feature. I should make a better tutorial on showing myself, because it's mainly for me. Showing myself how I draw people so I can see how I improve and get better. And I've been wanting to do that for a while because I know how I used to draw people and how I now draw people. I would love to see that comparison, like in a video form, so I can just look back on it in 2 times speed. But I didn't do that. So I wanted to do that now. And this is kind of an example of that. And this isn't entirely everything I'm gonna do, and I think I'm gonna make like a series out of like actually showing my process of how I draw, what I use, all of that, like if it changes, if I'm doing something different, because I like seeing improvement and growth and whatnot. But today you're just gonna get a poorly done tutorial type video on how I draw dark skinned people with the blush and all of that type of stuff. Probably not every single thing or anything super in depth, but I was sick and I'm really even not feeling well now. Even just recording this beginning part. I did the best I could. I just want you to know that. Just trace over the hair. Listen, this is your sign right here. If it's your character or you're remaking and you just want to have an outline of it, just trace over. Just do it. If you're trying to make a pose for a hand, just have your hand out, take a picture, and trace over it. No one will blame you. You're not taking anybody's shit by doing that. This is shit you already made. Do it. No one will blame you. Really. And the people who do are dumb, because it's just do it, trust me. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, low-key, I was about to just fucking grab a piece I already did or already finished and then just go over to the sketch and then do it there. I'm already trying not to be that lazy, so you gonna get a certain level of laziness out of me. Okay, so I'm gonna start the wash machine up, so there's that in the background. But I'm gonna continue on with this because at this point I don't care. So this is what I made, just really quickly, just for something to throw on here. This is my character specifically. Now, if you have a character like this one, and you're trying to come up with a skin tone for said character, take a picture of the character. Let me see if I can pull up a picture, a reference picture. I can, because I have one already on here. I forgot. This is my reference picture, right? Very simple. Ooh. Take a part where you see there's not like blush or anything particular in the skin. It's kind of hard for this picture because I did it all up, but right here, probably around the lip area, I'll find the actual color of the skin tone that I laid down, I think. I say I think because I don't think I put a filter over this one, like a color and an overlay, but even if I did, doesn't matter. And then you go to the thing, and there we go. That would be the skin tone color for this character right here. That's the easiest way to do it. Like, there's literally nothing else. Like, if you are trying to do a character specifically, just find a well-lit picture of them. Try not to use like a picture where they're in the sun and it's obvious that like lighting is affecting them. Usually it's a neutral picture. Most people have like little reference sheets or character pictures for their character. Especially if it's an anime or a TV show, it's really not hard. Let's say you're trying to do like a real life thing. So this character is loosely based off of my skin tone. Loosely. Well, it used to be, actually. I think I changed it at this point. So let's say I'm gonna do it off of a real person. Let's go with me. Let's find a picture of me and my face. Ooh, damn. I just saw one of the people I follow fucking upload a thing for the school. Ooh, it's drama! Oh, it's some drama too. Oh, I'm gonna finish this real quick and get on that because this is the juice. I can taste it. It's so juicy. Okay, let me stop. Let me find the picture I'm looking for really quickly. So, y'all just go here, wash machine then. Here's a sad picture of me. I love eating oxygen H2O. Having a cotton ball and some water for lunch. It's so great. I love it. Don't you love it? I love it. Then running my ass off to then come back and have a morsel of a salad or chew on half a Cheeto like it's food. I love that for me. Let's say we're taking a picture like this. This isn't even necessarily the best picture you could have. This is just like, I feel like most people would take a picture like this. Now again, this has way too much lighting. There's a little shine on my face. There's a lot of darkness because of the lighting, but it's fine. What we would do is take a light part of it, but one where like it's obvious that the light isn't directly shining, so there's not too much white, but it's illuminated enough to where we can see my skin tone, which would be right here in this area here, because my nose is like my nose. Or you could, this one right here would also be an area. Or you could take it from my hand, I guess, right here. But you know, when it comes to actual skin tone of actual people, if you're gonna go like realistic, sometimes people's bodies are different colors than like their face. For example, I have like a hyperpigmentation, so the underneath part of my face, so this half of my face is darker than like my forehead, which would be one of the lightest parts, in this part of my face, like the main part over here. And my hands, like here, are lighter than my knuckles, and my, like the real back side of my hand, that's a little bit darker, and that's also darker than my actual face. Well, the lighter parts of my face. It's a weird thing. Like, skin tones are weird. We're not focusing on those parts of the skin tone, and we're not focusing on hyper realistic shit. We're just going for like, you drawing, you know, you cartoon, it's funny. So I would take this part right here, probably the best indicator of my actual skin tone. Not exact match, but if I was taking this to make like a reference for someone's skin tone because I'm drawing them, I'd probably take this part right here, and there we go. Even if I took like a darker part like up here on the forehead, I'm going to show you what I would do to, you know, make it a bit better. So we did that. So they're gonna go away. We're gonna go with my skin tone. So we're gonna give her this. Now, as you can see, this is the this is the pigment that we picked out for my skin tone. Now, as you can see by this picture, that's a little bit more light than I would portray myself. And you can kind of eyeball it from here because you don't have to be exact with this. You really don't. So this is too light. This gives off a way lighter person than I am. So I'm going to go here to the wheel. I'm going to make it a little bit darker. So I'm still making it saturated. I'm not trying to make it gray. We're not doing that. So we're going to make it a little bit darker. So we're going to go from left to right. And we're going to go in like a slope motion, if that makes sense. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about on screen. But we're going to go from here down to here. Sorry, I wasn't even on the thing. We were going from here down to the darker part because we're keeping the saturation, because this is really kind of gray-ish, and we don't want to go anywhere to the left because those are the grays, and it's just, you're gonna look ashy. I'm not ashy. Well, not on my face. I'm not ashy. So there we go. And there. That's a better description, in my opinion, of my skin tone. Yeah, that's probably a little bit more saturated, actually, than my skin tone is, because that's going back a bit more, and there's a little bit more red in there. So I'll go here and lighten it up to here. Yeah, this is how I'd want to represent my skin tone right here. This color. Again, when it comes to realism and your actual face and the actual tones of your face, listen, this isn't here. We're not here for this, okay? That's a lot. That you'd actually have to have a genuine reference and just go by color theory. That's a whole other thing. We're just trying to get a quick thing out the way. But yeah, if I were to give you an example of what I would draw for my skin tone, well, probably a little bit lighter. It'd be like this. Nah, I lied. It'd be like this. It's not too bright. I'm not that light. I'm not light skinned. I'm brown skinned. But it's not super dark. Do you get what I'm saying? Again, left side of your colors where it's going to the ashiness. This white over here, where that little white part, we don't touch that. We're just never gonna go over there. Not for this in particular. It would depend on if your lighting was like that, to be fair. But if you're just trying to make a regular tone, there's no reason to, like, this would be what you would do. So we're gonna go with this color, and we're gonna put that all over my face. Now honestly, if you're trying to find just a brown color to go with the character, then again, you can start from, well actually, let's be real here. This is supposed to be an easy tutorial, so if you're trying to find a color, here's a secret. Go on Pinterest.com and look up skin tones. Maybe even skin tones for black people, and you'll find a plethora of skin tones. It's really not hard. Hell, you could go on Google, skin tones, black skin tones, dark skin tones. It's really not hard. I mean, not like a super deep red, so from right here to maybe almost to orange. Nah, a little bit darker than orange, like in that little range. Anything from that could be considered black. So in the orange, you'd have to go a bit darker for it to be like that. So, well, no, a little bit over like that. See, like that, and then there's this one where you go a little bit out of the orange. That could be there also. But that's making people look like pumpkins. So if you're not trying to make people look too orange, which sometimes it's okay. I mean, it depends on what vibe you're going for. But if you want to do something like that, that works. At that point, you're staying down. You're staying a little bit more. And you can somewhat make it gray, but see where it's like, it gets to a gray, and it's like, that's ash. That's ashy. That's ash ketchum. Like, we don't want that. We don't want too much ash. Because again, if you go all the way to the grays here, let's even just say it like this, right? That's what it starts to look like. It starts to look ashy. Even if you take the skin tone I just put on and you go over to the grays here. Ash. It's still a little bit ashy. It's still like muted and it's like not as saturated, and we don't want that. Well, you might want that, but we don't want that right now. So, just like with hair, shading should be the exact same. If you want to know how to shade black people's skin, it's literally like shading hair. It's literally like shading eyes. It's the exact same shit. That's how I shade my shit. It's literally how I shade everything else. That's the point. But let me show you, just in case you don't understand. I use soft airbrush and the blend tool a lot. So I just use the blend and then the blur. If I'm doing the highlight, then I'll use maybe like a pencil and just put something there. But that's what we're doing right now. Just go from top left to bottom right at all times. It doesn't have to be always dramatic, like you're going straight. But you're always going to want to go in that direction if you're not just going straight down like here to try to do it. Do you get what I'm saying? To match the skin tone. So we're gonna get the eyedropper, go from the colors, and we're going to go down a little bit and over, down a little bit, over, and there we go. That's a little cute little fucking contour color for it. Now usually I use this for the blush, or like almost like a base coat for the blush. I don't know why. I just do personally. You don't have to do this, but this is just how I do it. So I'd probably put it right here on the cheeks and probably like the bottom of the lip. So like right here. I don't really put them on the top too much because I don't know. I don't know why I don't put them at the top. You can. Like, you can make a whole, like, lip thing here. Like, just here and then like that. But I don't do that. But I'll do it for right now, I guess. With this character specifically. You take that, and I take my blend tool, and I will go to the actual blend. And I'm going to take a brush that's significantly bigger, so it's easier to blend. And you just kind of lightly blend it out. So it's not like it's super, like, it's like transparent, basically, but you can't really see it. So it blends into the skin a bit. Give it a little bit more, I guess, dimension, you know? And I do it on the nose too. Put it right here. And you guys see my speed art, so this is not really too much different. And I do eye bags, so, you know, I'll put it underneath the eyes because I got the dark circles as fuck. But, you know, you don't have to. Here's something I do. Make it a little bit smaller so it can fit underneath the eyes and kind of darken it up a bit. And then take the blend, just blend it softly. I usually would make them darker, but we're gonna go with that. And sometimes you can, if you feel like this is too transparent, you can barely see it and you don't see the difference or whatnot, you can just duplicate it and do it like that and then blend it out a bit more so it's a bit more to your liking. See? Now it's just blend it out a bit more. You just kind of blend it until you like it. If you don't like it, then you start over. There's no shame in that. There we go. Now again, you would do the same thing you would do with like other skin tones, but just to give the skin a bit more dimension by putting like a little bit of darkness back into it. Again, you could just make a smooth face. So I could just take this away and then put the blush down. But I tend to put this under it because usually in general, our faces aren't the same consistent color. Like we're not all just like, I'm this color black. Like you have pimples, you have blemishes, you have dark spots. And I'm going to do the arms as well. Because what I'd always do for me, again, you don't have to, but I do. I always do it at the ends of the ear and on the shoulders and that little crease between the arm, like where the elbow is. You know what I mean? And on the fingertip, be on the stomach, there's a belly button, and like little creases like here, like the boob is over here. Yeah, it's a little bit. Now I'm getting kind of into shadow. To be fair, that's kind of shadow, but we're gonna go with that for right now since we're not really adding too much. There we go. Like little places where there would be dark spots is what we're doing. And we're gonna go back to the blend tool and we're gonna blend it out. Also, if you make it a little bit too sharp, use the blur tool and just blur it up. So, for example, going back to the face right here, I could just blur it up to just blend it all together to look a bit more seamless and not like it's all different pieces, but it's all coherent, if that makes sense. Here, since I duplicated the other one, I'm just gonna duplicate this as well. Have you ever said something consistently because you heard it a few times, but you have no idea what it actually is or what the person actually said? You're just repeating something that you might have heard, and then you find out that's entirely wrong and your whole life has been a lie. I hate when that happens. I'm using the blur tool. I wanted to use the blend tool, but blur tool works too. But see how I even used the blur tool? I didn't even know I was using the blur tool just now, but it worked out anyways because it worked still. But yeah, there we go. This is just be what I'd be doing. This is just be what I'd be doing? Huh? What? Anyways, you pick the color from here and you go to like red usually. And again, you're gonna go from top left to top right when it comes to this, and just make a color that's just as dark as you want the blush. So example, let me actually go back. For example, I'm going to actually make this bigger. No, can't even do that. That works. So you can kind of see a little bit better. So I should have done it in the first place. Red, right? So we're making like a red blush. You know, you can make like blue blushes or whatever, depending on like what you're going for. That's actually really cool. Kind of want to do a blue blush. We'll do that in a minute. But we're going from red, so you can go like just go over to red and make that the blush. And again, we're not going, well, we can go over to actual red and do like a deep red and make that the blush. That works with the skin tone. Let me show you. That's a little bit too much. Little bit too much there. That can work. Or you can make it a little bit more deeper. So we're just going down from the red. That can work, and you can blend that out. Maybe soften that up a bit, but blend that out. Or you can make it like a really deep one, where it's basically just fucking black. That can work as well. Even on lighter skin, that can work. Depending on what you're trying to go for, as long as you're consistent with. Literally, you could make blue blush. If you're trying to make a natural look, then the red blush going down, that's what you're gonna want to stay with. Black people do blush. My nose gets really red when I'm sick or I've been crying a lot. If you're not going for like a natural look, then really you're just adding, it's just like adding like blush on your real face, like the product blush. It can have like a gold shimmer on it. Like you're just making shit up. Remember, if you're staying in like the natural realm, go with reds. If you're not, then it's just do whatever. We're gonna do a blue blush because why not? You know, it looks crazy because there's no real theme here, but yeah. So I'm just gonna go again back to the original skin tone. I'm gonna go a bit more into red, but keep it kind of still in the orange brown area. So go a little bit more red. There's no hand here because I was too lazy to draw hands, but that doesn't say that's the knuckle or like where the fingers are. If you have the hand open and you're making like fingertips, then you can put it on the fingertips. I put on the fingertips, the palm, the knuckles, those areas. I put blush all over the hands where those are. Maybe they have a really tight bracelet, you want to put blush there because it's, you know, cutting off circulation. You know, whatever. Blush is literally just a place where you're visibly seeing blood flow, which can literally be anywhere, you know? Blush is literally just blood. Or natural blush, I'm sorry. Makeup blush is just blood. You're just putting blood on yourself. And you can make it like, again, you can make it really light so you can blend it out. Or you can make it be really exaggerative like this and just kind of barely do anything to it, so it's still visibly showing like that. Also, I know I put some specifically on the nose, but you could connect it. Let me find it here. But you could connect it like this to where it's like, there we go, see, now she's blushing all over. And you could do that and then just blend it out a bit so it works there. You could put it like on the temple here. I know some people put it on like the hairline. Listen, again, it just depends on what you do and your style and how you want to apply it. But see, now it looks Alright, you can put it on the chin, you can put it on the neck. I put it on the, I don't know what this part, I forget. I'm drawing a blank. This part right here is called, but if this was showing like on the skin, I put it here on these areas just a little bit. You can put it like somewhere on the neck. You can put it like right here because maybe the collar of the shirt is really tight and it's making a little bit line there, so you can put it right there. Again, it's just blood flow. You can put it wherever. Okay, so this is how it looks so far. It's not too bad. And we're just going to do the skin tone for right now. We'll make the rest of the stuff in part 2, I'm sure. Because I'm looking at the time of how much time I've taken on this, and I'm like, yeah, there's going to be parts. This is going to be a part. Thanks. Yeah. This is the blush, but obviously everybody doesn't start with the blush. Some people start with the shadowing, which works like this. Again, we're going to start with the skin tone. We're going to go down. But this is just like not really much lighting, so you're just going to put a natural shadow wherever you would put shadows. If you don't know how shadows work, I can't help you. When there's a light or a light source coming from somewhere, or you just assume there's no light source there would be a shadow. And what I mean is like underneath your armpits. If you look underneath your armpits, it's kind of dark because there's a shadow there. It depends on if you're doing cell shading or whatever, but I'm doing like an airbrush thing right now, so I would go to like a 15 or a 20 depending on how big the drawing is, and I would go about this much. Like you can do like a few shades down, depends on how deep the area is or how dark it is, but let's just assume everything's pretty dark. Let's say there's a pretty bright light illuminating the person. So I'm gonna go to the armpit area again, and I'm going, okay, that's a little bit too small. I'm gonna go to the armpit area. No, too small still. Armpit area. Like this. I'm gonna draw a line of this is darkness. See? It goes from the skin tone, go a little bit more down, and if you don't know, then just, keep trying. Be like, okay, this is not dark enough. Go a bit more down. That's not dark enough. Or do whatever. Whatever looks good at the end of the day. And you know what looks good. Like, it's not hard. Right? So we're just gonna make this, nice little shadow here. Soft shadows for dark areas. There we go. And we're just gonna do this all over the body. Again, wherever shadows may be. It's literally just a darker skin tone. And if you really want to also, here's one where it's a little bit easier. You can just, well, actually let me keep the skin tone so I don't forget about it, because I tend to do that. With Clip Studio Paint, there's a little place, I'm pretty sure, that has a library, has a library of all the colors you use right here. It's called Color History. So, you probably won't have to worry about this if you're using Clip Studio. But, for the people who aren't, or the people who do have to worry about it and don't have the library, just, make a little note right here on the layer you use to do it, and you'll be fine. You can also just go to black and do it here. So we can use black for the exact same thing. And then you could probably either do an overlay, so that work. Here, let me multiply it because it's kind of thin looking. That's the thing, if you do an overlay on like black, then you might have to deepen up the way it looks. So you can do an overlay to where it's like a bit darker and then just make it opaque. So we're gonna make it, I usually, when I make anything opaque and put overlay over it, usually go down to 41, but it's between like 31 to 40, no, 31 to like 51 is the range, depending on how light I want to make it. There you go. Go black, overlay, 41 for the opacity, whatever. And there we go. Shadow. Anyway, we'll finish this, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm just tired. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I should also mention that you can also just do the opacity and overlay thing with this as well. By the way, I should say that. So you can just make it opaque and then go down to 41 or whatever. Really, car? Just be loud, really. But also for me, I would probably end up not duplicating it, but doing like a second layer over something like this part of the armpit right here. And then here, I'll show you why. Let me not do it with that brush. Let me go soft and then do it like that and have that happen. The reason why is because obviously this is, well, here, let me do this again. The reason why is because, see, that part of the armpit is a bit obviously dark. Again, there's no light coming from there depending on your light source, but in this case, there's no real light coming from there. So it's going to need to be pretty dark for what I want. But again, that's me, my personal thing on it. Yeah, that's just how I feel. So I'm going to finish so I can be done. Oh yeah, that's another thing. If you want to do the blush, you can also do it on the earlobe down here. That's what we've gotten so far. See, where it's like a little nice, cute look. Like we got it. Like it's cute. Oh my god. Now, when it comes to blush as well. You can also take like an extra step on here. This is like a light, like a little blush here, but then you can also, again, you could add to it. You can make it better. So I'm gonna sit here and add like a more deep, well, no, I'm probably a bit more of a richer, lighter red to it. Just add a little, like, it's there, you know, like, I'm here. Let me make it a bit more orangey, because I don't know, I for some reason I like having it a bit more orangey. That's just something I like to do personally. But you can make it red if you want, not have it locked, and just add on top of the places I want to. Not everywhere, but, well, no, pretty much everywhere. Everywhere I added it before. Just add a little, you know, I want it a little bit brighter. And again, you can explore and you know, experiment with it. And it's fine to make mistakes or for it to look a little off or wonky because it's your first time. Or just because you're not used to it or you're just not good at drawing that well anymore to yourself, because I think everybody's beautiful at everything. But let's say, you know, to you, it's just like, I'm not really good at it like that, you know. It's fine to fuck up. It's fine to mess up a little bit. Okay, so this is what we have so far. And obviously you can add like little bright parts and glows to it. Now, that's another topic, but I think that's pretty universal when it comes to adding a glow or a highlight to it. So for me, you see I'm using the same fucking 3 tools for this whole thing. It's literally just the hard and soft airbrush tool and the blenders. That's literally all I'm using. So let's go to I like orange on this character for some reason. So I'm gonna go with like a little bit of an orange light glow. And you can use like the glow tool or the glow dodge tool or an overlay, you know, whatever. Usually I use like an overlay and just make it really thin. So I'm gonna go over more to the white section here. I'm gonna get the hard light and I'm gonna do the soft light, or the soft airbrush rather. I'm sorry. And get a soft airbrush and I'm gonna make the brush just tinier and a little bit more. And one over here. Here, I'll just do it over here. No, I don't want it here. See, right now I'm like figuring out like, where do I want it? I don't know. Let's just go across the face to make it easier on everybody. There we go. Again, you can do it on the glow to make it like a really bright one. You can do it on to a glow dodge to make it like that type of thing. I just do an overlay just for it to be a soft, like, glow moment. Honestly, I'm not even gonna do it like that. I'm just gonna put white on it. A little right here, a little shine on the lip here, a little shine right here on the arms. Usually I do some on the neck or whatever, but I don't have time. Yeah, I'll just put it right there on those places to make it a little bit easier on myself right now. Take the blur tool, maybe just blur it out a little bit. And maybe take the blend tool, blend it out a little bit so it just stretches, but don't go too overboard or you're gonna like, it's gonna look like this. It's just gonna look like a soft, weird glow again, and it's like, I don't want that. Well, a little bit more of a shine there. So just barely do it on, like, most of the little dot or whatever you made, but not on the entire thing. If you're hearing that, yes, it's a dryer. Now, if I duplicate it, that's too much. Again, that is now the dryer going, because my existence must be pain no matter what I do. So I'm gonna go with the hard light here. And just add a little bit of that to here. That's probably too much. I'll just go with a soft light and then go a bit lower. So maybe like an 8 on the brush. And then a little bit here. Then we're gonna soften up this over here. So we're gonna go to blend. I'm gonna blend that out just a little bit. And also we're probably gonna blur this out. This was kind of a little bit harsh. Blur it out. There we go. Actually blurring it out probably is better if you want a little bit of a, like a less harsh light. There we go. There we go. That looks fine. That's how I do black skin tone. And again, I'm sorry, that's the dryer in the background. I can't do anything about that. Hopefully I can move my desk over here in the other corner so that will not affect me ever again. But until then, you can hear that dryer. So hopefully that was helpful to you. I tried to break it down in a very easy and simple way. I'm going to do my best to edit it so you can understand what's going on and why. And again, a lot of this is just go with your style, how you're comfortable with the drawing, and drawing it whatever way. If you want me to try it on a darker skinned character, I can also do that. But I think that's going to be a whole separate video because of the dryer in the background. So, okay, also, I will say that if you do feel like I'm looking at this now and I'm like, I like it, it's cute, and it gives off like a cute vibe, I like it. But also this isn't the skin tone of my character and it's really weird, so I'm going to change it really quickly. So it's not like freaking me out. She ain't even that dark, is she? Let's darken this up a bit. That's orangey. There we go. There we go. Darken her up. Also, there's lights on me, so like That might not even be the right skin tone. But it's darker than what I had before. I was really light what I had before. A little bit ashy looking, to, you know, be real with you. Yeah, no, it's just really light skin. I'm looking more like that. I like that better. Yeah, see how it's like, that's a little bit more the color. It's not the exact, but that's more the color. Anyways, that's what we're gonna do for now. Hopefully that was helpful to somebody. Plus, this is nice for me, because if I go back and look at this in like a year or so, I'm sure this will change. But yeah, I will see you later. Me and the dryer will see you later.
Just remember this. We could have been stardust, same world, but we